Wrestling as a sport is very intense. There's nothing recreational about it. It's very competitive. There's no team support. You're out there on your own, and it's very much a battle.
It's actually funny because originally when I started, I was just saying like, oh, I want to do all these WWF moves and just like powerbomb people and chuck people around and, I don't know, just lay a beat down.
Johnathan Hatzis, a wrestler that was at Hammarskjöld High School for 5 years and now has moved on to be an athlete at the university level.
He is a member of our varsity wrestling team, men's varsity wrestling team.
He went to provincials 4 times, nationals 3 times.
John has 4 OFSA medals in 5 years of competition.
Silver once, bronze once.
Including a gold medal in 2009.
Did well at nationals. I can't remember how he placed.
As a matter of fact, he is one of the most decorated OFSA athletes out of this region.
That he has no legs.
Where's the water?
And so that really makes him, a unique athlete in a sport where you're using every part of your body.
What is your condition?
I was born a congenital amputee, missing both of my legs above the knee and partial fingers in the left hand.
So why did you start?
It was funny because went home, brought my parents the note saying, oh, I'm joining wrestling, and they're like, oh, yes, a contact sport for my disabled child, this is going to be interesting. No, they just had a lot of worries about if I was going to get hurt in that, and the teachers were really supportive, so it was kind of an obstacle for them even, but you know, we got over that, and then from there I just excelled ever since.
Well, and you know, these aren't Special Olympics of any sort. John is competing with able-bodied athletes.
I don't know, I just wanted to have fun, you know. Like throughout my lifetime, I've tried a lot of stuff. Like I swam for a little bit competitively on like the Thunderbolts swim team, and I did pretty good with that. And I don't know, I just started wrestling, and I found that I still had like a competitive edge against everyone too. So I was just right there with everyone. Because with the swimming, you can't keep up to a person with legs, like they're kicking.
Weird to see you wrestling at first, and then you just watch and you just gain such like fluid motion, and it's just very fluent. It's kind of something to watch.
Do you think it's a advantage or a disadvantage that he doesn't have any legs?
That goes back and forth.
You can see him starting from like, back when he first started, it was down on the ground wrestling, like starting from parterre. And then once he got into high school, he progressed into the stand-up. And I mean, that's where you'd figure he'd come with the most disadvantage, you know, not having any legs, you know, kind of a bad way to start off in the match, but he makes it work.
In competition, his, he weighs in lighter than someone with his upper body and his strength would be.
So he would typically be competing in maybe 110-pound weight class, where his upper body is more the size of a young man who's in the 140 to 150-pound range.
His major asset in wrestling is his strength.
He's just got such power to him, like,
Right.
He's got the muscle to it.
You know, once he gets your legs, you know, his grip is very strong. His ability to keep moving and hold on to that leg and cause a lot of problems for the wrestler who's defending their leg is well known. I think once he gets your leg, for the people who are his size, he's going to score.
Well, the disadvantage is without legs, he has no ability to push off or no ability to, be necessarily as quick. Without legs, he can't push off or dive.
Walking on your hands, which obviously he doesn't. He tries to do, I think, as little as he can because, you know, he's mentioned to me before that the shoulder joint just really isn't meant to be used as the main source of locomotion. So his shoulders were actually bothering him this year. You know, I mean, there's a lot of wear and tear when that is the main thing of wrestling.
As well as probably the biggest issue is the ability to get a wider base and have a better safety net or balance.
I mean, not only is he having to, you know, attack with his arms, but he's also moving with his arms. As in, like, he has to maintain a defensive position at all points in time. So his hands are on the mat, and or, you know, one hand is down and he's defending with the other hand. So, you know, much of the time he's almost wrestling one-handed.
But I don't know, I just always found ways to work around it, you know, worked with my coaches, worked by myself, just adapting, and I don't know, just wouldn't let it stop me, you know.
It's very difficult in terms of trying to find strategies to have John wrestle with.
Basically, his strategy would be to get them to come down to his level, because that's when he has the extra strength to take them out.
He says all I have to offer is the ability to expand his imagination.
In the later years of high school wrestling, though, he started moving on to different tactics in order to get them.
But definitely John is working on his own style and his own things that he needs to work on.
Well, yeah, when I first started, it was kind of just a sport for me, and then over the years I started learning new stuff, and I started getting really into it, and I started, you know, looking around town to see if there's any clubs or anything where I could have some extra mat time. And I don't know, just like over the first 3 years, I guess, is pretty much when I developed the passion for it.
Actually, yeah, the first time I talked to him, he actually told me he lost his legs when a shark bit them off.
Is it pretty easy to become comfortable with how he is?
Oh, definitely. I mean, at first you kind of a little skittish about, you know, saying something, you don't want to offend him or throw him off or anything like that. And then you see his attitude to it, and he keeps a smile to it.
Yeah, John is quite open about it, and
Oh yeah, he had no problems with it. He makes jokes about it all the time, which is pretty cool.
we've had it where he's come off the bus and he's got prosthetic limbs, and he'd fall on the ice, you know, and he'd make a joke about it.
I don't know, he's got to have a good sense of humor, you know, just take a leg, do some crazy stuff. But, yeah.
He's really outgoing, no problem, not shy whatsoever. Just like really out there.
He's confident. He's a confident man.
John is, you know, you can say he's an engaging and entertaining, and he's a charmer. Of course, there are limitations in terms of what he can do in drills. You know, when the team is running around doing some agility running, he's not part of that.
We do start off with a lot of running, a lot of tumbling, a lot of gymnastics, and then, you know, so he does what he can.
Like, you know, over the years, like, I did have to build a lot on it because, you know, you start off and you know a few moves and that. And especially being an amputee and having a disability, you got to take, okay, well, the coach is going to show you this move, but how can I adapt it? And kind of like I have everyday life. And just, I don't know, I go about it and do it best I can.
He actually has coached at Agnew, elementary school in town.
And so I was able to see his background in terms of what he'd done. You know, he's active with the youth in his church, and he's part of the Disabled Athletes Committee.
Sure, he does war amps and stuff. He goes away and talks to them and gives his motivational speeches, and it's just, he motivates people, just the way he talks.
Has he gotten more motivated as he's progressed over the years?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
It's just the way he is. He just wants to push.
In case anything Johnny sets his mind to, he usually pulls it off.
Like I was saying earlier, you know, it has to do a lot with my parents. I don't know. I can't take full responsibility for that one. So with a child with a disability or that's had an amputation or anything such as, you need to be supportive of them. Obviously, you can't just let them think that, oh, you suck, you're not going to be very good in the world and that. But you also have to be there beside them and you have to like push them. You can't do everything for them. You have to say, well, if you want that, go do it. But yeah, so they just gotta have positive reinforcement. But they really made me an independent person in that way too. So.
Or has done things that other people can kind of aspire to.
You're darn right.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I think not even just people who might be in the same situation as John. I think we could all take a lesson. I mean, sometimes I can only speak for myself, but you think your problems are I think my problems are tough, but I really should remember that it can always get tougher, and certainly for John, who's a great student and a great wrestler, and with his, circumstances, he's a role model for sure, and he's a positive guy. I've never seen him, down and out.
Yeah, it's just the more positive you are, the easier things are, because I can always say, oh, I can't do this, but wait a minute, if I do this a little bit differently, or if I approach it from this angle, I can do it the same way. It might be a little bit different than what other people do, but I'm still doing the same things.
And being able to express to them, the fact that you can overcome what you see as a limitation. It's not so much using it to your advantage, but knowing that okay, this is my shortfall, but what have how do I maximize my positive qualities? So I think he's been able to do that for a number of athletes.